All right, folks, let's get this Hangout live event started. I totally apologize for being 10 minutes late. Went to bed a little late last night trying to work on a new video for you guys and ended up getting up right at 9:30 when I was supposed to start this broadcast. So I'm usually getting up at about 6 o'clock a.m. so I can go outside and walk, but it was raining today. And when it's dark outside, your body just tends naturally to think it's nighttime. So even though I set my alarm, I hit snooze too many times and totally blew this whole thing out of proportion as far as getting here on time. So I really apologize for that. I know it's been a while since you've heard anything from me, but I do have a lot of things to talk about today, and I would like to go ahead and get on into this. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and look at the control room to make sure everything's doing all right. I want to see the live control room here. Also, I want to see everything that's going on as far as my notes. So I need to check out my info and settings real quick so that I can look at the talking points I'm going over today. Okay. I'm going to work on that and change that as I go along. Okay. So let's go ahead and get that going so I can see where I'm at. So give me just a second here. I'm looking at the live control room. This is going to help me keep up with the chats and things like that and see what everything's going on as far as that goes. So let's see. Let me click play real quick to make sure this video is working. I've had so many issues with Google not working. Live event seems to be the best way to do it instead of just playing Google Hangouts. But I have figured out if you have any problems with your video sounding like a chipmunk and it's going real fast and all that, before you click on start Hangout, you can click on begin Hangout or whatever, but before you click on that little green button, start broadcast or start Hangout, make sure you click the window and close it out and then reopen it, and it should recognize everything just right. So we're going to just click this and see if it's going to work here. Seems to be the best way to do it. Okay, good. So we're live and we got this working. I just wanted to do just a hangout today. Let's see here. Okay, so I just wanted to do another hangout because I haven't done one in so long. And I haven't done a video in so long because a lot of stuff's been going on. And mainly what's been going on is, I'm going to go to my chat points here. And usually I go in Trello and put my notes on Trello. Excuse me. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. Just rough draft it. Say the 6th. All right, let me post my stuff here. That way I can see what I'm going to be talking about. All right, that should work. Okay, now 15 minutes later, let's get this thing started. I don't have any viewers so far because I don't know what happened. But let's see, this is the live page. See, that's another thing about YouTube. I'm not very familiar with how to put a broadcast alert to let people know that, hey, there was problems. There's no event page like there used to be. So I'm having to go actually through Hootsuite and post all that on there. So I need to I need to find this link, and then I can go ahead and get it going here. Okay, so now everybody's aware that I had some issues and we are live. Okay, so if you're watching this later, go ahead and skip through this front part because that's just crazy. It looks like I have one viewer now, so that's awesome. Just to let you know, I started a little late, had a little issue with getting up on time like I thought I was going to get to. So if you would like to leave some comments, there should be a place to leave comments. If you're watching this in the live control room or whatever, I mean on the watch page, I'm going to go exactly where you guys should be so that I can see what you guys are watching, what you guys are looking at. And pause this video so that I don't hear myself talking or anything. So if you'll leave, these comments are disabled for this video. I don't know why. The live chat is enabled, so I'm not sure exactly about that. I'm still learning a few things about YouTube. Live chat is enabled, so I don't know how you do chat. Okay, there's the chat. If you're looking at the bottom, let me go ahead and do a screen share so you can see what's going on. Let's see, screen share. Share what I've got going on here. I think it's that one. Is that right? Yeah. Just about stopped the broadcast accidentally. Okay, so you're looking here. Here's the watch page. Here's where you're seeing me. If you'll scroll down below this, depending on what's over here, you can say something. And once you say something, you hit return or enter, and it posts it right up in here. Okay. So definitely interact. I will be watching this. Now, if I go back to my control room, my control center, it should show that somebody is chatted. So if I just refresh that, testing chat right there. See that? So I'll be watching the chat to make sure what everybody's saying here. I've only done a live event, I think, once or twice, so I'm just getting used to that. So we're going to work on that a little bit, see how that works. So that's the chat stream, and you can do that. And I'm going to go ahead and click Save Changes on my actual viewing page so I can see what's going on here. And then go back to live events. All right, so let's talk about what we're talking about today, okay? Hopefully next time I'll be a lot more prepared to do this and get this done than I am today. So sorry about that. One viewer. Want to make sure that I have, there's a chat thing here, but I don't think that's the same thing. Okay. All right. So the first point, I wanted to talk about my goals. Wanted to talk about where I'm at in those and what's going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the goals off the wall here. Go over these with you here live. What I'm working on, what's been happening, you know. Now, if you'll look in the description, at the bottom of that video I just showed you earlier, at the bottom of this video, in the description area, in the show more area, if you'll click on that, there's a couple links there to a couple of blog posts that I had, which includes one of the videos that I was talking about these goals. And you can watch those, and those are kind of related to this. Now, here are the goals that I listed in those videos. One of them was one of the blog posts is goals 2015 Q1 updates, which is quarter one updates. And if you look below here, this video, you can see that. So I haven't even touched this thing ever since I wrote this. Okay, it looks like I wrote this in December of last year, December the 12th. I don't know if you can see that or not. So it looks like I've got, goal number 1. Writing is my main goal, my main priority this year that I want to work on, to focus on. I want to finish my novel, which it has been done. I finished it finally. Took me 5 years and 8 months, but I got her done. Okay, so it's done. It's right now simmering, waiting to be edited. I'm going to edit it later on because I'm working on another goal. I'll show you. Talk about that here in a little bit. Wanted to do regular blog content. I have been able to do that. I've got like 37 posts up now since I've done that, but it's been kind of waning just a little bit because I've been working on this other project in related to writing. I've been working on it, and I haven't been able to do as many blog posts. Now I've got one that I'm going to try to release this Friday. Usually Fridays is when I wanted to release them, but it's been happening like once every other week, and sometimes not on the right day and on a Friday. If I see that I'm going a long time without a blog post, I'll hurry up and get one out there. But like I said, I've been writing on other things and really having fun with it. But that's where you'll find most of my updates and stuff is on my blog. Most of my, well, not really updates, but the main content that I write is on my blog. Another goal about writing is to do short ebooks and courses. Now, courses is for me to not make courses on writing, but for me to take courses on writing. Okay, and I did one of those, which was the Coursera course. It's Coursera.com. They're totally free. That's what's awesome about that website is those are totally free. And so that's at www.coursera.com. Okay. I don't think I'll bother putting that on the show notes, but it's COURSE course and RA at the end of that.com. And this one, I forgot what this one was called, but if you just look up writing, you'll find it. It's something to do with, let me just find it here on my desktop so I don't have to babble about it. Let's see. Let me go to, okay, Coursera. Crafting an Effective Writer, Tools of the Trade. That's what the name of the course is. Coursera, Crafting an Effective Writer, Tools of the Trade. So I did take that and I completed it, and I think so far the course that I've seen are like 5 weeks long, something like that. And you do an assignment, you're graded by your peers, and you help grade others. So it's kind of like a community that comes together to help you become better at what you're doing. So I really had a blast doing that. I have learned a lot, and there's also a free download of the course material, which all the topics that are covered by it, like verbs, present tense, present, past, perfect tense, and everything you can think of about grammar. It's covered in this unit, but they also go over style and creativity and things like that. I highly recommend it. It's a really good course. But I completed that. And as far as the short ebooks, what I've thought about doing is I wanted to write more, so I wanted to be able to write so many ebooks in a smaller length so that I get more out there. And there's a strategy behind that. The more, well, let me say it this way. From what I've been studying, what I've been researching on writing, to get noticed, it's hard to get noticed in the noisy world, especially on Amazon, where it's so crowded. I mean, Amazon has books after books after books, and it's like if you walk in a bookstore and you're like, well, how can I get noticed in all this crowd? Well, it's not one book that does it. You have to produce multiple books. You have to produce multiple things to get noticed. It's kind of like with my Bluegrass Guitar Essentials course and my Texas Blues Guitar course, and with all my YouTube videos. I've got over 600 videos just about on my YouTube account. I'm somewhere at like 593, 594, so it's about 600 videos now. Some of them, about 100 or more, are unlisted because they have to do with some of my newsletters, but that's a lot of material, okay? And now I've got 2 brand new courses. Well, the Bluegrass Guitar course is pretty much brand new on DVD. and the Texas Blues guitar I've had out for a couple of years. So my name is out there, okay? Now I'm having to start from scratch in the writing field. And I figured that short ebooks would be the way to do that, around 10 to 15,000 words. And doing that, writing that all yourself is pretty tough. I know they have strategies like, well, dictate it and have somebody else to write it down, and then you can do all this. Well, I did that with this goals video that is listed in the links below, the goals 2004 video. I did that, and that's what another project I'm working on right now. But the problem is, when I go back and try to edit it, I end up adding all this other content because there's more stuff that's happened since then. So if you can leave it alone, if you dictate into your little recorder or whatever, and you can leave it alone after that's done, then that may be your cup of cake. With me, it's hard to do that because I always sit there and I want to give the best that I have to my viewers and to people that are buying my stuff. Okay, so as far as short ebooks, then instead of worrying about ebooks, I'm trying to produce complete books or complete stories. Like I've got 2 short stories that are available on ericbeatty.com. You can sign up for that newsletter and you get a short story the first week. The next week, the short story, you get another short story of mine. And so that can kind of introduce you into the type of writing that I do. By no means is that all that I do, but that's some of the writing that I do. And also you can get an idea of the nonfiction type stuff that I do just by reading the blog posts, okay? So there's plenty of content out there to absorb. So I'm trying right now to make a name for myself in the book field as I have in the YouTube field. And by the way, thank you to everybody, because I have finally went past 6,000 subscribers. I'm at like 6,200 or something right now. I mean, it's blown my mind away, okay? And it's just amazing. If I go to my channel right now, it'll tell me the subscribers that I have at the top. And that is, we'll say 6,262 subscribers. That's amazing. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in and being a subscriber. It's really cool that you guys like this channel enough. And I'd like to continue to provide, that kind of those videos and things for you. But that's been my main goal, is writing, getting better at writing, doing more writing. And I'm the type of person who's a perfectionist, so I'm just sitting here a lot of times, don't know what to write or don't know how to make it come across the right way. So right now I'm struggling with just getting it down. Don't worry about the first draft. It's a rough draft. It's supposed to look like terrible. You need something to work with, so that you can go back and edit it and sculpt it and shape it and things like that. If you don't have a complete piece, then you can't do anything with it. So I'm having to learn that the hard way. I've been filling up journals and writing down ideas, and even have ideas for the next possible book in the series of the novel that I just mentioned. That'll be exciting. But anyway, that was my main goal, was to write. Another goal, which was I put in between goal number 1 and 2 because I totally forgot about it and I was focused on the other things, was to finish what you started, which was the Bluegrass Guitar Essentials DVDs. That has been done. That went live, I think, June 30th or July 1st. Somewhere around there, I got it done. And I finished the novel just like 6 days before that. June 24th is when I completed the novel and wrote down the words, "the end." Okay, so been working on that. The Bluegrass Guitar Essentials is now available on DVD. I've had a really good response from it. People seem to like it. And you can find out more about that by going to www.bluegrassguitaressentials.com/DVDs. Okay. And that will take you to the actual DVD portion of the site. It's really easy to find if you just went to the main website anyway, but that's the direct link to it. Another goal that I had, and I don't want to go over a lot of these goals because I did this all on the Goal 2000 video that's listed below in the show notes. So basically, first goal, let's go a little bit faster here. First goal was writing, and I already talked about that. The next goal was streamlining my email lists. My Totally Free Guitar newsletter, archives, maybe make a membership or subscription-based kind of site off that. maybe switching email providers, which I haven't done. I haven't really done my email list as far as, trying to combine them or make a product out of them or anything like that. I don't really, I know that would be a good way to do it, but I don't want to I'm already finished with the Bluegrass Guitar Essentials, and that kind of wiped me out as far as anything new as a guitar product. And so, yes, I have a backlog of videos, 60 or 60 plus videos in my Totally Free Guitar newsletter, but that I can go to at any time and create like tabs for, and maybe make a little, several little mini courses out of and sell those as an actual product. Right now they're free. There's no tabs or anything like that, but there are actual videos, 30 minutes average length, I think you're going to get from these lessons in my newsletter. But I could go back anytime and create a product out of that, and that's found at secretsoftexasbluesguitar.com/newsletter. But that's not really been a main goal. I've found as I've been going on that goals evolve, okay? And I think I mentioned this in the last goals video that I talked about in that link below, that goals 2014 link from ericbrady.com. I think I mentioned that the goals these are evolving. Okay, I'm finding that as other things happening and other things cropping up in life, that things that you thought were important, that you thought could make or break your system, aren't necessarily that way. Okay, so I'm not really been working with email lists as far as like trying to make a product out of them. I have been trying to streamline them because I've got like 4 of them right now, and having to, every single one of those, keep up with those, it's tough. So what I've been doing is when I have an update or something, I'll just mail it to the list that it's, relevant to. And things like this video today, I'll probably shoot an email out to everybody to let them know this video has happened, and you can, watch it to see what's going on right now with updates, since I haven't done an update in a while. It's becoming like maybe once or twice a month that I'll do an update on my email list, because like I said, I'm really focused on trying to get my goals done, and there's plenty of content anyway to consume on my blog, on my YouTube page, and on that Totally Free Guitar newsletter. So I don't want to swamp them. I mean, when you think about it, that's a lot of stuff consumed, so I shouldn't feel too bad about not posting an update here and there, because they've got plenty to work with. All right, so the next one was to maybe try to do a Bluegrass Guitar Essentials workshop. And I can do that at just about any time now that I finally have the DVDs in the hand, and I can say, hey, here's the DVDs, and bring them to the course or to the workshop. If you want to buy them, fine. Or if you want to pre-order them and you can have them available when you come to the course, fine. That's still that's on a back burner. That's something that I might decide to do maybe next year. I don't really see it happening this year. So that was another goal. The 4th goal is, well, I've already mentioned this, to monetize current or past content, like the newsletter videos, or making ebooks out of some of my blog posts. Well, it's hard to do that because they're not really strung together as an ebook, unless I did like a 10 tips for so-and-so. So, I mean, I could eventually do that probably, but my writing, when I'm doing this, an idea comes along and I start writing about it, and it's not necessarily connected as a whole. They're really good content within themselves, but when you put them together as a book, then it's just kind of disjointed. Okay, there's nothing really that's there's no woven thread through the whole thing. And I'm drinking some Big Red. They didn't have Cheerwine. That little soft drink that's red, the really deep red, that Cheerwine. I love that stuff. It's like a red cherry Coke, basically. Okay, so there was that, and so then I had, after I put the paper up all before it just completely landed over here, then I had, by the way, this template is available on that goals video that I talked about, on that goals post, rather. And the link it's at the bottom, like I said, but if you want to go to it right now, or after this, it's ericbrady.com/goals-2014, and that's will give you an update on my focus goals that I had the link that's below that. So you need to go below that link to get this new template. This is the one that's I created just to completely reboot everything. And that is this new template here. This is the Focus 2015 goals. The new one has a little space for you to put the year yourself on there. But then I had a next action sections, and the next actions to get these goals completed are listed here. Okay. And then I had a to delegate section here, so that I could delegate these to some of my virtual assistants, some of these things to help me out, such as get an assistant for the workshop for goal number 3, get somebody to transcribe some of my videos or some of the things I dictate for goal number 1, which I haven't done. I've been so busy doing my own writing. Product design, get help with the new email newsletter setup, which I never did switch over, so that's kind of moot. Hire a web developer VA for my new blog, or some of the things that relate to writing. So some of this stuff I haven't even done because I've been so busy on focusing on the writing part that all this has not been even achieved. I mean, my main goal was to do writing. Okay, everything else, I don't really feel like a failure because I haven't achieved those goals. I feel like a success because I've been hammering away at writing, getting content out there in the form of blog posts. Like I said, I've got about 34 to 37 blog posts out there. I'm going to release another one Friday if nothing happens. And been writing in my journals, been writing in my notebooks, and been working on another book. Okay, so here's what I said earlier that I was going to talk about, and I was going to sit here and do this today, and kind of go over this and update my goals, and put what's happening in quarter 2, put what's happening in quarter 3, put what's this little section is for a recent goal. Like if something else come up during the year that I decided, hey, that's something I really want to work on, then I'll put it up here. But right now it's August. Okay, it's a little too late to come up with something like a huge proportion goal wise. So I'm not going to overwhelm myself. If anything, these other goals here will keep me busy. Okay, if I need something to do. But right now, my something to do is writing and getting books out there and getting them done. You'll see all these arrows here, and what that is I haven't had a chance to do this either, but at least this sheet is available to download. But as I went through this, I realized that there were some things that need to be moved around and other sections that need to be added and things like that. So I may have actually done that. I don't know, but there's a link to this sheet so you can download it for yourself. But I realized there was other things I had to do. Plus, I had some other commitments that I hadn't, right here that I hadn't really considered, like the group that I play with on gospel music. We play the Gilbert family. Some other, church obligations, some private lessons, all these other things that I have to get, to be aware of, that these are things that must be done that I have to do, so that I don't let my goals interfere with that, and so that I don't feel overwhelmed by having too many goals and trying to keep up with life. Okay. Another thing is I put a star here. What is a realistic use of time and resources? So if you know about me, the focus goals is follow one course until successful. Okay. And then I also have SMART goals, which each one of those, I don't have it up right now. Each one of those is SMART, like simplify, measure, action, realistic, and time-based. Maybe the first one isn't simplify. I don't remember what the first one is, but anyway, each one of those is a letter stands for something. So I have those 2 sets of goals. Now, the new book that I'm working on is a book that's all based around goals. Okay. And these talking points may be out of order. I'll go back and switch them later if I need to. But it's all about goals. So I'm continuing to write, but now I'm writing in the nonfiction. While my fiction kind of rests and settles, I'm working on a nonfiction book that has all about achieving goals. And that book, the genesis of that started from that Goals 2014 video that I'm referencing here. If you go to the bottom and go to that ericbeatty.com/goals-2014, the top video on there, I even mentioned in that video, I said, this right here, 2-hour, conversation could be a product. I may make a product of it, and take this video down or something. So you better watch it while you can. Well, it's been, 8 months later or however long it is, and the video's still there. But I now have a transcription of that whole video. Okay, so I've just began recently starting that video. Actually, I started it at the beginning of July, I think. I've got this little "don't break the chain" thing to let me know when I'm getting a little slack. These are all goals that I'm working on. I mark a day next to the X. And don't break the chain. I guess since I've shown that, I need to leave you guys a link to that. It's an awesome resource by a lady on here called Karen Cavett, I think's her name. Some of you may know her. And so I'll put that here. I'll put it at the bottom, and I'll add it where it needs to go later on my own notes, and then I'll integrate that later. Okay, so we got that. This is just to help me stay on track when I can see my progress that I've made to continue writing, continue going. The blue was for just writing, whether it's in my journal, and it shows you what it's up here for. Writing. Writing, I consider any activity like that has to do with writing, like editing, doing webinars, taking courses, journaling. And while I'm thinking about this, I haven't even put anything down for when I'm doing a lot of webinars and stuff on writing. I did a couple different webinars through the year, the most recent one being the Self-Publishing Success Summit. But I haven't even marked for that. I guess I'm not really considering webinars, when I think about it. Just sitting here researching writing is not writing, okay? So editing is, taking the Coursera course, I consider writing because I'm having to do writing while I'm taking the course as part of passing the course. Journaling, writing in my journal, It does not include reading, writing books and blogs because I do a lot of that. Reading is not writing. When you put words on the page is writing, okay? So my goal was about 20 minutes a day at least. And so I'll put this down whenever I've done that, okay? Now there's a few gaps, as you can see. This is the first year, so I don't count that. I started here and I had a few gaps in between all this, but here was a lot of writing going on. This was during the time of taking the Coursera thing. So I'm going to put that down in here. Coursera writing course, so that I can know what I was doing during that time. So, and then the orange is when I started back on my NaNoWriMo novel. So I started new material for this year. Started writing new material in the 1st of May. Okay. Now I had been doing some of that. I actually started back October of last year. Started writing other stuff, but I didn't have this checklist, this break the chain thing. And then I completed my writing, completed the novel. I hear where this circle is, the 24th of June. Okay, that's done. Then I got some green up here, and that is for anytime I'm working on this new book, this goals ebook that I'm working on. Okay, or any other miscellaneous new ebooks or stories or things like that. So that's been going pretty good. In between writing that I've been doing some journaling and some other things relating to writing, like blog posts and things like that. So I've got all this stuff going on, and I'll give you a link to that. It's not live right now because I have to go look for it. But after the video's over with, I'll go look for it, and you'll be able to have a link to this sheet so you can print your own out and start from today. And this really gets you motivated. It really does. When you start looking at yourself and you say, "Man, there's a lot of gaps there. I really need to get back on this habit. Look how good I did at the first of this. I need to do better." It really kicks you in motion to get things done and try to do something every day. I know for writing, the big thing that's going around right now is Jeff Goins' 500 words a day. And so every time you do 500 words that day, you put an X down. And when you see that you got all these days, each one of those represent 500 words, you have a novel before you know it. I mean, you have a novel in a year. depending on how long your novel needs to be. So it's a really good experience, and this also lets me know about how far away I am from NaNoWriMo, which is in November. Don't know if I'll be participating in that or not. I'll probably right in the middle of editing my current book to do that, but it'll be a good time to sit down and dedicate even more ideas to writing, such as maybe plotting out or thinking about the next book in that series. Okay, so that's the goals. Okay, that's the goals part. And instead of updating this live here, it's going to take so much time to do. I'm just going to leave this on my desk to let myself know I need to revamp that, update that, and see what all has changed. And usually I do that in a different color ink so that I don't get confused. So I might do blue or red or something else. All right, so that was the goals, Q2 goals updates. Okay, and so the YouTube videos and new scheduling ideas. Now, this is the part where I really wanted to, one of the main reasons I wanted to do this Hangout video today, this live event. And that is because with all the writing that I'm doing, trying to get, my ebooks out there and trying to get a presence on Amazon like I have on YouTube by creating multiple books. And I never really did finish that point, which is if you want to get noticed in a crowded book niche, in a crowded book world, you have to have multiple products, because the more tentacles you have in the book world of your own works, the more they'll reach out and people will see them. Okay, and then that leads into your other works. You could have a backlog of like 50 books. You're going to get noticed if you have 50 books. I mean, it's going to happen. Somebody's going to run across you, especially if they're widely categorized, So my goal is to try to get more books out so that I can have that. And I probably need to update that goal as now that I've got the writing done, now that I'm working on other ebooks, I need to have many products released. So as far as the YouTube videos, like I'm talking about here, because of that writing, because of that kind of schedule, I'm probably going to limit my YouTube videos instead of once a week now to once or about twice a month if possible. And that is just because there is a huge backlog of videos for you guys to consume and watch. And half of them you probably still don't know exist because, probably have recently subscribed and only seen the latest videos. There is hundreds of videos. I mean, one thing you could do is go to my channel and go to some of the playlists and just start watching all the videos in one playlist, okay? I've got all kinds of stuff. People ask me, could you do a video for this? Could you do a video for that? And half the time, I've already got a video for it. They just haven't searched for it on my channel or something. So definitely, if you got a question about something, like a certain lick or whatever, search for it. I haven't been doing a lot of requests because, like I said, this is the focus, is the writing, and I haven't been doing a lot of request videos. But chances are, if you need me to do a Tony Rice song or a specific Tony Rice lick or whatever, I've already done something so similar to that you can watch that and get the basic idea and figure it out for yourself. So the point is to achieve other goals, to say yes to other goals, I have to say no to other things. For right now, my YouTube channel, I'm having to say no to weekly videos, okay? What I would like to do is maybe once every other week, and I'm probably still going to keep it on Tuesdays because that's the day that I've always done it. Might do a little research and see when people are actually viewing my videos, because I like to see when they're actually seeing them and just put them out on those days. But I'm going to start working on twice a month videos, whether in this format or, I've got all kinds of ideas that I really need to pin down when it comes to my, bluegrass videos and things like that. And I'm working on another video I'll get into in just a minute for you guys. But that's not to say that even though I only have 2 videos a month, that I'm not going to have anything else. If I have something that just has to be, released, then I can release it, That's a bonus if that happens. But right now, the weekly thing is just becoming too much to keep up with. So this is going to be this week's video. I've got some other videos. I haven't even looked at this, but we actually went to a, I'm going to call it a family reunion. It wasn't, but it kind of is for me and the people that we used to go to church with. We got together again for the first time in years. I'm talking like maybe 10 years or so, all of us together in one place. And we we sat down there and we had a nice get together. We had a cookout and ate, and then we played some music, all of us together. So I've got that. I haven't even looked at it because I've been so busy with this other stuff. But I've got that available. It's going to be, it's going to become one of the videos, one or two of the videos here on YouTube. So I'm looking forward to getting that to you. So that's extra content, but I'll probably use it as some of the main videos for that once or twice a month type thing. And also I have all kinds of lick videos and things like that I've got simmering up here that I can work on. There's it's all kinds of stuff that I'd like to get out there so that you guys can watch, but I'm not going to get it out there as often, okay, because there's plenty of stuff to watch. And if you need tabs, that's what secrets of Texas Guitar.com is for. That's what bluegrassguitaressentials.com is for. Those are tabs that I painstakingly worked. The first one, Texas Blues Guitar, I had to work on that myself. I did all the tabs for that myself, and I've decided from then on I would hire somebody to do it. And so that's what Bluegrass Guitar Essentials is about. I had a whole team of people helping me out to get that course out there to you guys. It's available on webisodes. It's now available on DVD. And so if you need tabs of anything, I don't do tabs. I don't do tab requests. It just takes up too much time. I'm not very good at it, and it's not my forte. I've even considered, and this may happen too, I saw my backlog of tabs or videos in my newsletter. I've got a backlog of YouTube vids, over 600 that people ask tabs for. And if it's copyrighted, I won't do tabs for it, because then, I can't sell anything that's copyrighted. I don't have a license for it. And I don't want to go through all the licensing mumbo jumbo of that. So any licks that I come up with on my own or anything related to that, then I can, pretty much get my tablature guy to look for it, create tabs for it, and then we set up a page where you can buy the tabs for like 99 cents or something like that. I can go back and do that. That might be an actual good idea to do. Once I get back in the swing of, hey, I want to do all the guitar stuff, because lately the guitar stuff has been only when I have to, and that's because I got so burnt out over 3 years working on one course and getting it done that I'm just like, I want to be able to enjoy it again. I want to be able to do it for me, not for everybody else. I want to be able to enjoy it, come up with some things, writing some songs of my own, and it becomes stale. Once you're so stretched in so many directions, you got to get sit back and enjoy things for yourself every now and then. Okay, so that's the new ideas, and the new schedule is once or twice. I'm going to try to at least twice a month every week. Okay, so that's what you're going to be looking forward to. And as far as the ideas, I just told you about, I have some ideas for some new videos with the family reunion type thing and the new videos and all that. That brings me to the next point, which is the new video that I'm just finally started working on last night as far as the video footage goes. It's called Lean, and it is a song that I've been promoting for since a couple months ago, I think, when I actually sat down and recorded it. Well, the problem is I had to get down and record it, and when I got done recording, I had to find some time to sit down and kind of do a rough mix. I'm not very good at mixing and mastering. I just try to do what sounds good and then be done with it. I don't want to be perfect. It's better to get it done than to get it perfect. Okay, so I got that mixed roughly, and just last night I finally decided I'm going to work on this, and that's what kept me up so late, and that's the reason why I was late to this broadcast this morning, is I was working on that video called Lean. And so right now, if it's not going to crash my computer, I can show you a little bit of what I've been working on that, so you can kind of whet your appetite a little bit for what that's going to look and sound like. It's called Lean, and it's based off of kind of like a contemporary. I was in a contemporary Christian music phase there for a while and started writing a few songs that were more praise and worshipy way back when. And this is based off of one of those songs. Now, the funny thing is I've got most of the lyrics. Well, not most of the lyrics. I remember how the chorus goes, but I couldn't for the life of me remember how the verse went or what the verse's lyrics were. So what happened is I was writing this instrumental version of it. Is I had the melody line of the chorus firmly in my head, started playing around with it, and this other melody just come to me. Excuse me, allergies. So this other melody, as I was doing this, come to me on the parts where the verses would be. And I was sitting there, and it just kept coming around. So I decided to record that part and make it to where, you know, even though it wasn't exactly what the verses were, exactly the melody of the original song, I decided, hey, it sounds good with this. Let's just create it. So now this new instrumental song is a version, the new version of the song as an instrumental versus the actual lyrics. And it's loading it up right now. Let me go ahead and screen share with you guys. Hopefully, I mean, this is kind of, video is kind of lagging right now because I've got iMovie running. Okay, and that's a big, huge RAM sucker. Okay, so let's go back to the screen share and I'll show you guys what I'm working on. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna go back to this so I can see what I'm doing here. Okay, I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on this, but I just started this last night. Okay, I just started working on this. So this is a sneak peek into what you're getting. All right. So here's what it looks like, and I'll just let this play. And here's all the videos I'm working with. I've got a lot of outtakes and stuff like that, probably worry with, but this is all the videos from that. Okay. So let's push play, and hopefully you guys can see this pretty good. Actually, let's just play it from up here. It's full screen and play it. Well, hold on a sec. Let me go back. I think I might have stopped my screen share. Yeah, I did. All right, let's go here. Try it again. Push the wrong button. All right, try this again. Let's go to the very front of this, and then start from there. All right, here we go. And that's that. Okay, that's all I've got right here. So let me make sure that I'm still sharing that. Good. I think you should have seen all that. Okay, so that's what I've got so far, and there's all this other stuff to work on. Okay, like I don't know why this is cutting off here. I got to extend that. There's more to that. But this whole strat here, this is the middle part that I was telling you about, that is that little verse part. Okay, so that my head, all this stuff before that I was doing on my Ibanez, all that was the main chorus. Okay, the rest of this is, and these right here, these little verses, was the new stuff that kind of come up in my head. Okay, so I'm gonna stop my sharing here now. So the rest of that is what I had in my head, that this melody just wouldn't go away. So I was like, that would fit perfectly with this. So that's the video that I'm now working on. So I hope to get out there to you guys very soon, within the next couple of weeks, as the newest video. Okay, so I'm really excited about that. I've had that song inside of me for years, and I love the melody. It's beautiful. So I did all that in GarageBand, and I used the new drummer feature that they have in there. I went ahead and bought that whole package like for $5. You get all these drummers, and just recently got a huge drummer update that came with it. So since I've already paid for it, it's free. So I've got a lot of stuff to play with just for fun now. I don't have to feel like I've got to create all these things for YouTube or for somebody else. I can sit down and play around and have a good time on GarageBand sometime. Okay, and if so, that's the lean vid. Now the new blog post is hopefully going to be out tomorrow. So I'm not really going to talk a lot about that. I just wanted to remind myself on that and let you guys know that there should be a new blog post coming out tomorrow on Friday, and it's going to be about a new ebook that I found on writing. I've done a lot of research, a lot of reading on how to write and the best writing methods. Some people say it's better if you outline. Some people say it's better if you just plow forward and not knowing what's going on, you know. And I understand both sides. I really do. I'm not really committed to either one right now. All I know is that it took me having to sit down and get a general idea of what the rest of the story was going to happen in my novel to get it done. And I really, it gave me some direction. But even when I was in the zone writing and enjoying the story as it was happening, planned out, I did like maybe 3 scenes per chapter. I would allow myself 3 scenes per chapter. What's going to happen in this scene? Scene 2, scene 3, then the next chapter. Scene 1, scene 2, scene 3. You know, see what happened. And found out that while I was going in that general direction, I had plenty of room to veer off to the side. And when a new, you know, wow, I never considered that. I never even thought about that. But that so it fits so well in the story. I was allowed to veer off course and get there. And I found that it still didn't hurt anything really in the next scenes to follow. So that's what got me to the end, having a little bit of a roadmap. And the book I'll be reviewing tomorrow takes the approach of not outlining prior, but outlining after, so that you have an idea. If you did like a long hiatus, like I did, 5 years, and you go back and you feel like you got to reread the whole thing over again to get familiar with it because you don't remember what scene's which and what happened in the scene. It really helps when even if you go back after writing something, it really helps to get to put down some bullet points of what you did write and what you did do. So that when you go back after a long hiatus, you're not lost and you know where you're going. I want to say thanks to the viewers that have been watching. I've had some off and on 1 or 2 viewers here and there. So thanks to everybody that's watching. I haven't even checked the chat. I've been so worried on this. Robert, awesome dude. Said, what's going on? Let me see here. I don't know if I can add can I add a chat? I guess I have to go to the actual page to add a chat. Let me view that on the watch page. So let's check our chat real quick. See how everybody's doing. On hiatus, you're not lost. All right. Let's go back here. Where's the chat at? Where's the chat? They're loading it. Okay. It's loading. Taking a sweet time loading. All right, here we go. Chuck, Guitarpreneur page. First awesome, cool video. You could subscribe to me. Not really asking, just could you? Thanks. Awesome live chat. Thanks, Chuck. Robert. Thanks, Robert, so much. He always comes to my live events, even though there are a lot of rambling a lot of the times. And then I've got new Regal 86. Is the video streaming? I'm not getting anything. New Regal 86. Howdy. So apparently he got it. I was having some technical difficulties and things like that, but now we're going and it's working. So the chat's live and definitely check that out. Okay, so I think that's, if I'm doing the actual chat, I don't need this little spot here. Yeah. So my analytics. Okay, it shows me how many people have been watching and all this other stuff. So I've had several people log on and, you know, off and on. So anyway, that's pretty cool. I'm going to close that out. And now I have the chat enabled for me so that I can see it. So I don't even remember what I was talking about. Oh, yeah, the blog post, what I was talking about is, it's called Writing into the Dark. And it's by a guy named Dean Wesley Smith, who has written over like 100 books and knows what he's talking about, okay? What I was talking about earlier was about how you outline after the fact instead of before. And that's his approach. And so I'm going to be doing a blog post and releasing that hopefully tomorrow. I'm going to sit down and get that done. I've got it written and everything. I've just got to go back and edit it and make sure everything's, you know, okay and release it. So I've got quite a bit of things to do that I think about it coming up. But anyway, I'm going to release a blog post on that tomorrow, and he's got some really good ideas when you don't know what's coming up, when you don't know, you know, what direction that you're going to take your writing, what the stories, what happens going to happen with the story. A lot of good ideas by this guy. And as with everything, and he even mentioned this, you want to take what works for you and kind of leave the rest. Some of that stuff I don't think it will work for me, but I can take some of his stuff, some of Larry Brooks' stuff in his book, Story Engineering, some of K.M. Wyland's stuff in her book, Structuring Your Novel. Kind of take a little bits and pieces of all those and create my own little roadmap of how to write the best way that works for me. Okay, so that's going to be coming out tomorrow. Let's see here. It's already running a little late, so I'm not going to do the sneak peek into how I'm using Scrivener for my latest book. Instead, okay. The grammar there is terrible. My show notes. Possible sneak peek into how I'm using Scrivener for my latest books. And that's the goals book. I'm probably going to do a different sneak peek on that. It's coming along nicely, and I didn't really flesh out what I was talking about earlier on that, but the video, I did get transcribed, that goals video. But I found myself adding more and more to it. So I decided to leave the video up, and I'm going to, when the book becomes released, as kind of like a little bonus. So you can get the video that the book was based off of, talking about this stuff live. But also there's like right now it's at like, I want to say around 21,000 words so far. And so that's an additional 10,000 words or so maybe from what the video has. So when you get the ebook, you'll be getting extra content in addition to the video. So I think that's a good, you know, marketing strategy to let people know there is actual content, extra content in this video, more steps that you can take, more, you know, how-tos and things like that. So I can show that to you probably on another video, because right now it's kind of running a little late for me. I've got to help somebody move a dresser if it's not going to be raining all day, and I'm getting the rest of these points. I've already talked about mailing lists, so that next point I may just go ahead and remove out of there. The thing is, kind of like with YouTube, the mailing lists, I haven't been updating as much as I'd like to, which is not, you know, about updating them. It's about, you know, releasing updates when they happen. Well, nothing really has happened in relation to some of those newsletters. So as far as my newsletters, I've got my Totally Free Guitar newsletter. I've got my Bluegrass Guitar Essentials updates newsletter, which is about a mailing list, not a newsletter. It's whenever I have new, you know, like say if I had a new Bluegrass YouTube video, I'd send it out to them, let them know, hey, this video is available. Or if I had another course, like one of these days, I'd like to sit down and do a few courses. They're all small from now on. I'm not going to be doing any more, you know, 10 disc, you know, 7 disc courses. I mean, that just totally burns you out. But maybe do an hour or two, maximum 1 to 2 discs project to get that done. And I've got an idea for a couple of those in the beginner field. A lot of people ask about beginner lessons and things like that. So once I get, you know, to where I can, you know, be excited about that, then yeah, I'll get on the ball about getting that done. But the Bluegrass Guitar Essentials will be for things like that. If it's a bluegrass related, bluegrass guitar related type of video or type of update. I've got my blog update video or blog update mailing list, which is all to do about things happening on the blog. And it also has to do with my writing, anything to do with my books and things like that. And I also have, that's basically it. I've got three main newsletters. And I'm going to try to stop there. It seems like I want to say 4. I don't know what the 4th one would be, but there might be something else that I'm missing. But it's hard to keep up with all that. I do a regular, whenever I do a blog update, I shoot it out to my email mailing list for the blog. Or if I do something to do with writing or anything, I'll shoot that out. Anything with Bluegrass is the other newsletter, the Bluegrass Guitar Essentials newsletter, mailing list. And then the totally free guitar newsletter is for things like this lean video. Electric guitar related stuff, but that's the one that's populated with like 60 plus lesson videos that I created 2 years ago and maintained for a couple years before I decided it's time to kind of shift into other things. But the whole archive is still there. So a couple last things that I want to talk about, and then we'll be done. Thanks so much for everybody watching. Let me check the chat again. I've got another viewer to make sure that all right, new Regal, it's working now. Love you, Bluegrass tutorials, especially Tony Rice riffs. Thanks so much, new Regal. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. What would be cool is stylistic lessons on different guitar players, meaning how certain players approach their instruments with techniques and theory. Pretty good suggestion. For me, I have 2 people in mind already that come up, but I'm trying to explain the thing about that. I've got 2 people on my mind already that come up, and one of them is Stevie Ray Vaughan. Another guy is Eric Clapton. He's one of my first inspirations when it comes to guitar because his guitar is just so lyrical. It's so melodic, it's so laid back, and it's so resonant. And I don't think I could do those kind of videos justice because to me that's more like a how to sound like somebody or how to play like somebody. And I kind of do that already with Tony Rice, and I've done that with Stevie Ray Vaughan on Texas Blues Guitar, my course. I haven't really done any. I've done a couple of Clapton videos on here, not really many, but yeah, it is interesting to get into it. The basic way to do that is to actually go and watch videos by these people because somewhere along the line they're going to be talking about how they play, their approach to it. A good one by Eric Clapton is his the Robert Johnson sessions. That he did. He talks a lot about how Robert Johnson had a huge influence on his playing and how he kind of plays like that and talks about, all kinds of different aspects of that. So if you can just go watch videos on YouTube by those people, not for people trying to tell you how those people play, then that's the best thing to do is watch videos by those people, having them share their own stories, having them talk about their own experiences and how they approach the guitar playing. All right. Yes, exactly. Get into certain players' brains. Exactly. Like how Tony Rice uses blues scale and bluegrass. SRV is the beast. Yes, he is. Tony Rice, yes, he uses the blues scale, and believe it or not, pentatonic scale rocks when it comes to bluegrass. And it took me years to realize that. And I've actually got a couple of videos on my channel about the pentatonic scale and how it relates to bluegrass. So if you go to my channel and search for pentatonic scale, it will come up, and you'll see me holding an acoustic guitar. It's an older video, so I apologize for that. They get better as they go along. But that really changed the way I approach bluegrass, is that I realized that, hey, I don't have to use every note in the major scale. I can skip notes, and by definition, and I even mentioned this in the Bluegrass Guitar Essentials course, by definition, when you skip notes, you're automatically going to become faster because you're getting to your destination quicker because you're overlooking notes. So that alone increases speed when you can play a song and play pentatonic licks because you're eliminating 2 of 7 notes in your play. So thanks for participating there, New Regal. I'm going to get back to the show notes here, so I may not be able to see your chat for just a little bit. All right, so here's what I was going to say. I've got a couple things I'm going to talk about, and then we're going to wrap this up. Thanks so much for watching. I apologize again for being late, and I apologize for that whole intro section for about 20 minutes where I was trying to get everything adjusted. I really need to sit down and do this stuff, give myself that extra 20 minutes before I even go live. And that's a lot of times why I don't really do live events and schedule them. I thought about doing just at random live events. I was actually going to do this live event 2 days ago, but I thought, you know what? It's late. I'm kind of tired. I won't be able to put my 100% into this. So let's just go ahead and schedule this later, because I know I want to do it. Now I know kind of an idea of what I want to talk about. So that's why I made it a scheduled live event. And so I will try my best to get all these kinks worked out and everything beforehand when we go back to doing another hangout sometime. So the last two things I'm going to talk about, and talking about the goals that I was wanting to do about writing. By the way, is that, like I said, I'll probably do another video on the Scrivener, how I'm using it for my new goals ebook, and you can stay updated on here or on my blog or whatever on when that book is going to become available. I'd like to get that book out by the end of this year if possible, because nonfiction books, I'm finding out that they're not going to require as much editing, because there's no story to develop. There's no overall character arch to develop, character arc. So it's just me getting the rough draft down, letting it rest, go back and edit, do some light editing, and then send it off to an editor, and then it's ready for release. So I don't really see putting a whole lot of time into that like I would an actual fiction book that has to, have a plot, has to have a character arc, has to have your storyline and all this other stuff, subplots and things, and developing characters and all this other stuff. So that one I hopefully will get out soon. If you're waiting to see some of my writing, then go to my blog. That's where you'll find most of it, because I'm doing blog posts, and I've got 2 free short stories there for you to receive once you sign up for the mailing list, and that is to update you about the upcoming blog posts and anything to do with what relates to that blog, such as writing and even guitar events like this, So here's something I recently did to go along with those goals that I was telling you about. I actually sat down and wrote my journal, a huge, 2 or 3 page document here. And I've gotten back into writing in all caps. I used to do that because I love comic books, and I wrote in all caps for the longest. And then I went back into doing this, but I found out that my G's and my P's and things like that have a tail on them, it all kind of gets cluttered and goes into all this other stuff. So it looks neater for me to do it like this, to do it as an all caps thing. But anyway, I highlighted this because this whole section is what I'm going to go. I'm not going to read all this, but this whole section is what I'm going to read here. And it's kind of writing, thinking on paper. I like to think about it. There's an actual book that I read recently called Thinking on Paper, and I like that term now. But I was actually trying to work some things out. What are my priorities when it comes to writing? It feels like I've got so many writing projects out there. What am I going to focus on? So here's what we got on this list. It says, I've decided to make a list of writing projects I found myself being constantly pulled towards in order to get it out of my head and reclaim a little sanity. Okay, so current writing interests. Number 1, nano novel. That's my feelings. I call it feelings because the story behind it is some people that have these powers to how am I going to word this? They have the ability to almost paranormally sense other people's emotions. It's not like psychics, but it's kind of like feeding off their emotions to kind of get a read on them. And they call them feelers. And so this novel, I don't have a title for it yet, but I've always called it Feelings. It's short for Mysterious Feelings because it's a mystery / about feelers. So anyway, they're just a sneak peek into what it's about. So the current writing interest is that novel. It's currently awaiting edit. So that's kind of on the back burner. I can get on my head right now. Next up, fresh fiction. In other words, newly written. There's a story that I've been pondering and just won't get out of my head. I'm calling it the cave story right now. I already have a title for it that I think might work, but I'm not going to release it just yet. I haven't started on this, but I have done a huge mind map on it, so I can get it out on my head, and it's there when I'm ready to, take it on. The cave story I came up with at the end of whichever notebook that I've got. I have to label these notebooks because there's so many of them, I won't remember where to go back to reference these. So I labeled this notebook, and I've got a possible title here. So that's a fresh fiction, something that I haven't written before, and I have to go back and edit it and it's not fresh. It's something that's old, you know. So I want to do some fresh stuff. Okay. Another writing interest: finishing or updating previous stories, such as I've got a couple in some of my other notebooks. I've got some stories that I have in a planner. Every day I actually took a planner. It's similar like this, you know, the daily planners, daily, weekly planners, you know, things like this. I took a planner, and every day I would write a little bit of the story. I just wanted to start experimenting with writing some stories. And every day I would write just a little bit in that day, and I made a point to write something every day. So every day I would go back and I'd write some more of the story. So I've got 2 or 3 short stories in there that I can use. So I wanted to finish those, update those. I actually got a couple of Sherlock Holmes stories that I've recently found that I'd like to flesh out. I mean, Sherlock Holmes is one of my favorite characters. I love mysteries of that sort. I love the whole idea of Watson being a somebody that's all everything that's going on, while Holmes has his moment. You know, that's a brilliant form of storytelling to me, and I haven't really seen anything like that in today's modern world. Never really seen it. So I'd like to continue that going on. Don't know if I ever get there, but it's there if I should want to work on everything. Another story idea that I had, some lists that are inspired by Ray Bradbury from Zen and the Art of Writing, his book called Zen and the Art of Writing, which is a collection of essays that he had. It's one of the most popular writing books out there. And Ray Bradbury, he mentions things about keeping lists. And so some of his best ideas were pinned down based on lists that he had written. Like it would be the word "the" and then a verb, or "the" and then a noun. So like the runner, the man at the top of the stairs, the skeleton, the treasure chest, all the man who has all kinds of phobias or something. He would write down a bunch of lists with these ideas, whatever come to him. And I've started doing that. And that way you go back and you can be like, something may click when you read through those lists again. You'll be like, I got something it may not happen right now when you're writing them down, but later on you could have a life experience or an idea. And when you go back to this list, you could say, I know the place for that now. I know where that can fit in. So that's another thing. And the reason I'm writing this is because I don't want to get sidetracked with everything else. I want to see what my focus for writing should be. Okay. So another one was exploring new ideas for sequel or series for that Feelings novel. And then I got some questions, and I'm not going to ask it. I'm not going to tell you what these are because these are spoilers. So I've got some ideas of what I have for the next part of the book, the next series, book in the series. Another one, experimenting with shorter works for quicker learning. Now, here's a big thing that I put here: emphasis on mastering craft as opposed to quicker sales or turnover. Don't be writing because you're going to be making a buku of bucks. Don't be writing, oh, I've got to get all these out there so I can start making money. You know, that's the wrong reason for writing, period. You want to write to learn your craft. You want to write to master it and to get better at it. And as that comes along, as you do what you love, money follows. Okay, money should always be, not even probably not even secondary, but it should not be primary. Your first, goal. And I'm sorry if it looks like I'm looking over the side. I have a habit to watch myself instead of looking at the camera, which is up here above my head. So you write for the passion and for the love of writing and to learn your craft. Okay, bar none. All right. So that's what I put an emphasis down here. Do it because you love to do it, because you like to do it, because you are so starved for learning your craft, and you want to satiate, I guess is the word, satisfy that craving and get better as you go. Finish the Goals ebook. That's what I'm calling it, Goals ebook, to start my first book on Amazon. So my first book is probably going to be that Goals ebook that I told you about that I'm working on. That's based around the whole video that is in the bottom here, the Goals 2014 video. Journaling, I put a star here. Journaling is a means to capture ideas, be creative, for therapy, and to be free to experiment and explore, to be freely myself and free myself. Okay, so journaling as This right here is an actual journal entry. Okay, this is me sitting down writing a journal entry as a journal entry. But as I go along, I'm probably going to start learning more about journaling, but because it's not just about writing an essay. Journaling is about drawing sketches. You know, a lot of creativity is messy. Okay, so a lot of sketches here. Maybe I've got an idea here, and nothing is really organized. It's kind of like how the mind works. The mind kind of works in scattered patterns that it starts organizing. So just get it out on the page. Don't worry about if it's perfect looking, if it's nice and neat. Just get it out there, and then you can do something with it. Okay, that's the whole thing. If you can just get it out there and do something with it, that's the main deal. All right. So journaling, I put a star by because that's how I'm going to come up with story ideas. People ask all the time where you come up with your ideas. It's not me necessarily, but people like Stephen King, and they get aggravated. The authors do because they're like, I don't know where I come from my ideas. So you come up with your ideas by actually taking note of what you're thinking about. If you may have had a dream, so you keep a journal beside your bedside and you write down what that dream was about. You keep a pencil and paper with you at all times. I've got one in my truck. I've got one wherever I go. I keep some kind of form of paper and pen with me. So if I have an idea, I write it down. What would happen if, what if a guy got trapped in a cave and couldn't get out? Or what if, just anything you think of. And the more you think about these things, the more you ponder them, ideas are going to start coming. That's just the way your mind works. Your mind, especially your subconscious, is kind of like, designed to be solving problems, to be working things out, to be thinking about things. So it's going to be there. You just got to have a way to catch it. That reminds me of the dream catcher, the whole idea of the Indian relic, the Indian, whatever you call that, the dream catcher, the Indian object, catching your dreams as you sleep at night. Well, my dream catcher or my idea catcher is now going to be my journal. I need to think of it as an idea treasure trove and not just as, well, I don't have anything to write, so I'm just going to wait until I do and then I'll write. No, write anyway. Free writing is one of the best ways to do this. If you can't think of nothing to write, just sit and start writing anything. Even if you have to say the words, I just can't think of anything to write, blah, 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 blah. I did that with a journal entry the other day, and it turned into something that I could use that is really helpful. So chances are when you get into it and you start spinning your wheels, you'll get some traction and start moving forward in your writing or anything that you do in life, okay? And the last thing was using Wattpad as a training ground for fiction and engaging with other writers, okay? So I've been in Wattpad for a couple months, 2-3 months now, and I haven't been as active as I'd like to be. A lot of stuff going on. There's too many people to follow Wattpad. It's just crazy. But I wanted to use that as a grounds to experiment. If I have something I wanted to start working on, don't be afraid to just put it on Wattpad and start working on it. Don't worry about getting edited and all this. Just get it out there. Get it out there. Kind of like NaNoWriMo, you want to get it on the page. NaNoWriMo, by the way, for those of you who might not know, is National Novel Writing Month. If you go to nanowrimo.org, you'll find that out. That's a little part of each word, the beginning of each word. National Novel Writing Month. NaNoWriMo. And so if you look at that, nanowrimo.org, you'll see what I'm talking about. But you get the words out on the page, then you have something to work with, okay? So that's what Wattpad, I'd like to use it more and get more in depth on that as a training ground for helping me release, my stories and just not worry about if it's, polished completely and all this, just getting it out there, because it amazes me how many people always come out with new books. Half the time, I don't know if they edit their books heavily. I think there's plenty of typo and grammar mistakes, so I shouldn't be afraid of that. I should just get it out there, and if I want to take the version and have it edited, then it could be an actual book that you can pay for, but then the rough draft could be available on Wattpad or something. I don't know. All kinds of ideas like this. But here's the other thing I wanted to make mention of real quick. Notice other forms of writing which did not make the list. Things that are distractions, things that you need to, don't worry about. Blogging, okay? I want to blog. I want to use my blog as a part to writing, but it doesn't fulfill the goal of writing more fiction. My goal is mainly in writing more fiction and more stories and getting that out there and get my creative side out there, okay? I've done tons of nonfiction in my journals and on my blog and on other posts and everything. I want to get into fiction. So blogging is not on that list. Books and product reviews are not on that list, which is what my book, the blog post for tomorrow is going to be, is basically a book review. of that book I was talking about earlier. So it's not priority. Okay, it's something fun to do every now and then, but it's not priority. My newsletter updates. There's a lot of writing involved. Having to, okay, this right here is going on. And, you know, have you ever thought about this? And that is a lot of writing that takes up time away from the main goal of writing. Copywriting, which is like product pages. You know, writing all that copy of buy my product, this and that. Here's the benefits and all this. You know, I can just hire somebody to do that. Okay, that's no problem. All right, because you can get somebody on Fiverr for $5 or $10 to write a copy for your sales page. Fiverr is the place to go if you've never done virtual assistants. You want to try it, start with Fiverr. Okay, then move your way into Odesk or something. Now it's called Upwork. Odesk is, but anyway. So that's going along with my goals. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about today before we wrap it up is a possible, hopefully, new laptop coming up for my writing. And really excited about this. I've been having some truck issues though. You guys don't even know I got a new truck, do you? Oh man, I want to get out there and do a video of the truck and everything. And now that it's finally broken in, I know we're keeping it and everything. I want to get out there and do a truck video. It's my very first truck. I'm excited about it. Some of you already know this, but for those of you that don't, I got a new truck. It's a 2004 Chevy Colorado crew cab, red. And I put an Autobot sticker on there that matched it, and I finally gave it an Autobot name the other day because I finally figured out one that would work. I call it Lockdown because I'm always locking my doors when I leave. It's just habit. I always lock my doors in my truck. Always lock your vehicles, people. Always keep a spare set of keys on hand too, because you never know when you'll lock your keys in. That's happened to me before a couple times. But anyway, I got the new truck, and I'd like to do a YouTube video of what it looks like and everything for you guys to look at. I'm excited about it. But the reason I said that is because there are some issues that's come up. I've got to get some quotes and call around because it's pretty expensive issue, pretty expensive deal that's got to get fixed. But I've been doing some comparisons, doing some research into some MacBooks, and I don't need anything that's going to be heavily laden with video editing, with a lot of photo editing, anything like that. That's what this computer that I'm on right now is for. This is my Mac Mini. It's a mid-2011 model, and I just recently upgraded it, probably the first of this year, I think, upgraded it to 8 gigs of RAM. Well, I don't know. I guess it was probably the first of spring. I won't say the first of the year. I upgraded it to 8 gigs of RAM, so now I can reduce stuff on it that I couldn't before, like edit videos and things like that. That was taking up a lot of space, memory-wise. So I don't need anything that heavy. That's what this main computer is for. I just want it for my writing because I don't want to sit here in the house and be stuffed and cramped trying to get things done. Sometimes I want to go out to a coffee shop. I want to go out to a park. I want to go out to the library, someplace, and stretch my legs and just enjoy some different scenery, being around people and doing my work. Okay, so that's what this laptop is going to be about. Now, the one I'm looking at, it's not going to be a MacBook Pro. That's why I said I don't need all the fancy bells and whistles. I'm probably not getting a MacBook Pro. That's what my wife has. She's got a Pro with Retina display. But I did do some research and found out that her computer is so fast, and I was always wondering about that. It's because it has a solid-state drive, which is based on flash technology. So it's flash. It's like having a huge flash memory card in there, and it's like that. There's no moving parts. There's no spinning, gears and things like you would have with an actual physical hard drive. It's all digital. So when I seen that, I was like, that's what I got to go for. So I'm looking at getting a MacBook Air, hopefully early 2015 edition, because the new Mac software OS is coming out pretty soon. It's called El Capitan. Okay, so that's what it's called, based on a location in California. So that's going to come out probably in the fall, from what I'm hearing. So I want a computer that can be able to keep up with all the updates that they're going to be giving as far as like multiple operating systems down the road. I want to be able to have a computer that's going to last 5-6 years and be able to still keep up with the computer stuff that's coming out. So I'm looking to get a MacBook Air 2015 edition early, which is in March. They released it in March. It's got that extra Intel graphics HD 6000 chip. It starts with a B, and I can't remember what the name of it is. It's a weird name, but it's got that. It's got. I'd like to get one with 8 gigs. 4 gigs will probably be okay. The reason I'm saying that is because it's got a faster hard drive. It's got a better graphics chip. The processor is an i5, so it's not the i7, but it's an i5. It's a dual core, I think. So even if I have less RAM, it's a faster system already. So I don't feel like I got to worry about having that extra RAM. But I'd really like to have it because 8 gigs really makes a difference. And I'm probably going to lean towards getting that one. So my goal in getting this laptop is to pay it off. We have the money to get it right now. I mean, it's kind of going to be, I won't say tight, but it's going to be kind of questionable because of the truck repairs. We'll try to get those repairs down and call around, make get some quotes on how it's going to cost to repair that. But I definitely want to get the 8 gig one, and my goal for that, I finally lost my train of thought. My goal for that is to pay off the laptop in sales I make from my books on Amazon or wherever else I sell them. So the goal is, it'll be awesome to be able to, what's the word I'm trying to say? Break even. It'd be awesome to break even, and also, you know, to break more than even to get profit. To break even on what I've spent on this laptop, to be able to make that back up in sales with ebooks that I've written. So basically, I'm using it for writing, and to justify having this computer, I want to be able to make that amount of money to pay it back and say, hey, I basically got this laptop for myself for free because I've recouped that in sales. And I hope that's making sense. The goal is to recoup in sales what I pay for the MacBook Air, okay? And the good thing is that with 8 gigs, with, you know, I think I can deal with 128 gigs of hard drive space because I've got a terabyte drive over here, external drive. I don't need a lot of hard drive space. And for writing, you're not going to take up a lot of hard drive space. I'm not going to be using it for photo editing and for big videos and for all this stuff. It's going to be mainly for writing. So those files won't take up a lot of space. So that's the whole idea behind that, is to have a thing where I can get outside and enjoy, you know, the outside these 4 walls, and be able to justify buying it by creating that much revenue in sales. And obviously you want to create more than that, but it's the tip of the iceberg. I mean, going in Amazon with ebooks, if you can get enough ebooks out there to your name, people start noticing you, you can generate massive amounts of revenue. I know of people that have generated $100,000 a year or more, you know, in sales, and it's all on content. And I feel that I've had enough experience writing nonfiction on blogs and in my journals to create a cohesive book, especially when it comes to goals, especially the things that I'm learning in goals. I want to share it with other people to help them achieve their goals, and to realize that when you fail, a lot of times it's not your fault. That's just the way things work. Goals evolve. Some goals are ongoing, and that's the whole premise behind a lot of this stuff that I'm going over in this ebook. So I'll update you guys with that as it goes along. And I'd like to do a Scrivener screen sharing video as one of the videos here on YouTube. So real quickly to recap, YouTube video now schedules are going to be about twice a month. If I have something else that's pressing that I want to get out there, then I'll release it. But I'm not going to bear myself down with a lot of extra stuff that I've got to get done, because you guys have plenty of videos to look through. My backlog of videos, over 600, around 600, almost past 600 now, of videos that I have. Please, and disregard, I get a lot of trolls on here who talk about, well, the audio is terrible in this video. Of course it is. That was way back when I had an apartment and I had to be quiet because I had people all around me. I had to be quiet, and I had to, it was midnight, so I couldn't play loud guitar. I couldn't talk very loudly, because the walls are thin and all this stuff. So be generous, bear with me on some of the older videos that have bad audio. Okay, done the best I could, and bear with me on the rambling parts. If you want to speed through these videos, there's a YouTube button on your video that looks like a little cog, a little gear. You can click on that, adjust the annotations, adjust the speed, everything. You can blaze through these when I'm rambling. So that's just the way I do videos, and there's ways around that. Okay, so Anyway, so the last thing is that's the laptop that I was talking about earlier. Blog post coming out tomorrow, and we'll try my best to get that done. And I will also leave a link to this Don't Break the Chain sheet. This is very motivating, and it really will help you get started and get your wheels going and get you some traction on any goal that you set for yourself, okay? So I will leave a link to this sheet on the show notes below this video when you watch this next time. So let me go back to my chat real quick and end this up. Okay, there's no new chat. I got a couple users on here watching. So I think that's pretty much it. I've got to get out here and maybe help somebody move a dresser. It looks like the weather's going to be terrible again. I don't know. I'll have to call them and find out. But thanks so much for watching, guys. I'm going to get off here, and you guys have been awesome. Thanks for being patient with me. I hope this is, you got something out of this video that will help you guys, maybe motivate you guys, give you some new ideas that you didn't have before. So thanks. I'm going to get off here, and I'll see you guys whenever the next video comes out. Like I said, probably a couple of weeks. I've got videos on the lean video, music video that I showed you earlier. The family reunion type, get together and jam. I've got those videos coming out. One of these days I'll sit down and do some more Licks videos. I've got several of those in my head, and I may do them as, I wanted to get them all professional and everything, but I may just sit down and do them as like this on this type of setting. It's more informal. I'm not going to worry about formalities. I'm just going to get this stuff out there and get it done, and so you guys can benefit from it. So yeah, the blog post is coming out tomorrow on writing into the dark. If you've ever wondered about writing without having to use an outline and how to get from place to place, you'll need to check this book out and need to check the blog post out. It's really, really good read, and has some awesome, awesome ideas in it. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I'm going to get off here, and you guys have a blessed day wherever you guys are. Please check out bluegrassguitaressentials.com/DVDs to be a part of getting the education that you would like to have on bluegrass guitar with tabs, with diagrams. I know I can't do that on my YouTube channel right now, but I have made that available via those courses, bluegrassguitaressentials.com and secretsoftexasbluesguitar.com. Thanks so much. I'll see you guys later. You guys have a wonderful, blessed day. God bless.